After 2 nights in the hometown, it was time to hit the road again for the journey back to Phuket. And like a good American cop, I'd made sure that I'd choked a darkie before departing. It's a 24-hour trip, and the last thing I want to do, if at all possible, is to have to take a dump on the road.
So it's was it our third day in hometown, and we're off. We're going back now, but going to spend the night in Udon Thani in a hotel there, and then take a shot straight back tomorrow morning back to Phuket. So that's what we're going to do. We just stopped off. Tam wants a coffee. And this is only a coffee shop, and this is only Isaan, but they've actually gone to a lot of trouble here. Most gasoline stations on the main roads have these Cafe Amazons here, and this is all rather nice, isn't it? Look at that. There's a lot of work gone into this. It wasn't necessary, but I think it's rather nice. Phony quackers there. Very nice. Very, very nice indeed. Anyway, back on the road. So once more, it's the next morning. It's Udon Thani. Very unusual little hotel. Never seen this before, but it's kind of built on the lake system that I did know was here. But it's all incredibly deserted. But I bet when this is up and running, or was up and running, like when there was people here, it must have been really quite spectacular. But like everything else around in these COVID days, it's got an air of freaking desolation about it. And just imagine all this up and running though. It's like a water park. Yeah, imagine all this with all the swans puttering around it. Little cabins. It's been very nice. Very nice indeed. Let's see if we can find some breakfast. Must be over there somewhere. Here is the case in point that Thai people abhor the vacuum of silence. Here I was having a nice quiet breakfast, and then they put this fucking music on. Bloody crazy. Anyway, that's breakfast over. Let's go and have a walk around.
I hasten to add that morning I wasn't in the best of humours, because there was some kind of misunderstanding the night before between me and the rest of the Thai nation. I was expecting to spend the night in Udon Thani, and I was going to pay for myself and Tam, and then at night I was going to be able to just walk around and find a nice bar and restaurant and have a good time. But without any consultation at all with me, Tam, he stops at this small village before we actually entered Udon Thani, and went to visit some of his old friends. Now, this little village I've been to before, because Noi used to stay there, used to live around there many, many years ago when she was a very young girl or woman. And in fact, her dead son, Chert, has still got land for a house that is in that particular village. Anyway, this was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'd already had 2 lots of food, so I wasn't really hungry because I don't normally eat until the evening, and this is not what I wanted to do. But he just got involved in this big party with his friends, and that's where he was going to stay. And Thai hospitality, God love it, took its normal course, and food just kept on coming and coming, and this is for you, you have to eat it. And I don't bloody want it, but it just keeps on coming, you know, and there's loud music. And I mean, thank God there was loads of beer. But at the end of it, I managed to get out of there at 8 o'clock at night by just saying to him, look, you have to take me back to the hotel. I don't give a shit what you do after that. Don't wreck the car, but just get me back to the bloody hotel, because I've had enough. You know, I've been eating for something like 5 hours, and you know I'm full, and I'm just sick of talking and communicating and whatever. You know, I just reacted badly. After all these years, I still react badly to being put on the spot like that. You know. Maybe it's because I'm a grumpy old git and need to do what I want to do. But if you push me into those situations, then I'm not going to react very well. So bottom line is, I was taken back to the hotel, and the car was left there, the keys with me, and his friends accompanied him and ran him back to the party. What time he managed to get up the next morning, God alone knows.
So the place has just got an air of desolation, hasn't it? Here's the pool. Look at it, it's filthy. Pool is filthy, dirty, full of algae and shit. No one's gonna want to go in there. Probably no one has gone in there since COVID started in March. It's such a shame. Again, it must have been a nice place once, but just the ravages of time. Gotta forgive me for being so short-tempered, but last night was, well, yesterday afternoon and evening was particularly stressful for me, for reasons I might go into later. It seems, ever since I left Phuket, it seems that I've just been subjected to bloody Thai music all the time, you know. Probably got another 24 hours of it in the car going back home, but I'll make sure that's on quiet, and it's my bleeding car, so they can listen to my bloody music. So anyway, just a bit ratty. The place does this to me from time to time. Always keep your expectations low, and if the place fails to deliver on them, don't be too surprised. Just look at this and imagine what it was like once, and maybe what it will be like again, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go and have a shower. Now you can get up on top of the roof of your cabin here to have a better look round, and you might see through the trees there's that lake in the background there. Well, I've been here before many years ago, and Noi used to live here a long time ago when she was a young girl, or a young woman, probably a young girl. and she still has a little bit of a plot of land here in that kind of conurbation over there somewhere. There is a plot of land that she bought for her son Chert. Nothing was ever built on it, but the last time I was here a few years ago, the land was still there, and you know, she still owned it. So interesting concept. You know, I said, why don't you sell it and release a bit of capital, but she was not willing to entertain that idea at all. So anyway, yes, been here before. They've done a good job with the trees. You know, these are deciduous trees, aren't they? I believe. You know, they're not your standard tropical trees, but yeah, they have trees like this all over. It's a nicely mature place, and I think that lake over there, if it's the same one, that is a fish farm, and you can pay money and go fishing and whatever, should you wish. So anyway, yeah, been here before, and I recognized it as soon as we drove in yesterday afternoon. All right, I'm waiting for Tam now. I'm assuming he came back last night. He's probably got a crashing hangover, who knows. I'm waiting for him to phone me to say he's ready to go, because I'm already packed up, and because I didn't drink any Thai whiskey or anything, just a lot of very, very watered down beer, I feel fine this morning. No hangover at all, thank God. Okay, waiting for redemption. Bye bye.
Here we're rolling into Khon Kaen. You can see downtown on the horizon. Never knew it was so big. I'll just add this one to my list of overloaded vehicles, but it's not really overloaded by their standards. This is the trailer. There's a truck in front of this pulling it. It's now approaching 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We've been running for a little over 6 hours and approaching Saraburi. So you can see we're fast approaching Bangkok now. This is where we turn left to get us into Bangkok. An hour later, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 7 hours running and coming into the outskirts of Bangkok. It's evening now, and we've stopped for a restaurant break and a snack, I guess, and I just saw this collection of old bikes on the back of a truck, and it put me in mind of Noy's brother, Sid. Now, every time I go to the hometown, he's very nice, and he always tries to loan me a small motorbike that I can ride around on to stop me feeling imprisoned. The only problem with Sid is he's got no money, so each bike he loans me is progressively in worse condition than the previous one, and this was no exception on this trip. The one I got this time was a positive death trap with a transmission that nearly threw me off every time I accelerated or slowed down, and the front disc brake had no linings in it whatsoever. It was just the metal of the piston rubbing on the metal of the disc. So I rode it once just to show my gratitude up and down the road, and then politely just left it there and didn't get on board it anymore. And this reminds me of maybe it's a truck full of new dodgy bikes being shipped to Sid so he can loan them to me in the future.
So we're about 200 kilometers from Phuket. It's 6 o'clock the next morning. We're still going. Just another stop for a quick leak, and we'll be on our way, I think. So, I don't know, I'm almost sorry to see the sun come up. I prefer driving at night, really. But anyway, it's been a long night. Really got no sleep. We stopped a couple of times for a nap, but it doesn't really cut it. Anyway, not to worry.
So it's 7:25. We've been going for 23 hours, and we're approaching the island of Phuket. So we're just driving over the Saracen Bridge now, which separates the island of Phuket from the mainland, and there is the channel. It's also on the other side.
You made it back to Phuket. Congratulations. Well done.
We're home. We're home.
So this is the last video of this little adventure. Back again in the house and alone again, which is what I like. It's pathetic, isn't it? And it's somewhat tragic, actually, because I desperately miss Noi, and it makes me feel incredibly kind of sad, bordering on depressed. But on the other hand, when I am thrust into situations with other people, I don't feel comfortable, and I kind of like this. So, I just don't know. I just don't know how to handle it. Anyway, that's my problem. So, all in all, it was a good trip. I've mentioned in this video earlier on in other clips about the end of an era, and I mean this could be the end of an era, because I don't see myself doing this Isaan trip much more. It's very draining. This one was a fast journey back from door to door. 23 hours it took. That's because Tam is a faster driver than his brother. Usually it takes between 25 and 26, maybe even 27 hours sometimes. This time 23. So it's that kind of thing, Plus life up there is so different to life down here, and very, very nice people, but the whole environment is quite alien. I'm not sure how many more times I'm going to do it, or I'll be able to do it. So anyway, that's for the future. So this was Escape to Isaan, a mini trip of I guess about 5-6 days. Over and done with. Those of you that sit through the whole video, I hope you enjoy it. Bye bye.